Hi, I'm Chris Gallagher, an instructional developer for Blackboard. Welcome to the tutorial on managing spaces. We'll enter our username, our password, and then select Sign In. On the home page, we'll then select Site Manager on the My Start bar, which will open in a new window. When you first access Site Manager, you'll see the Content Browser, the top toolbar, and your Classes and Activities workspace. Depending on the extended privileges assigned to you through your passport, other items may display in the Content Browser. In your workspace, you can choose between adding classes or activity spaces. The process for creating either type of space, as well as their functionality, is the same. However, you may prefer to use activities for athletic programs, extracurricular activities, or special programs. Classes also have a variety of uses, including regularly scheduled classes, staff professional development, or student-teacher work areas. In the workspace, you can add a new class space, use Filter List to filter your classes by class name, teacher name, or class ID. Select the Sort By drop-down list to sort by class name, teacher, site, or class code. Under Class Space, you can edit the class settings by selecting the class name. In the Edit Space window, you can change the name and settings for class or activity spaces. We'll cover the Edit Space window later in this tutorial. In your workspace, you can also view the class parent site and the class code, as well as the actions for each class, which includes accessing or deleting the class space. On the How Do I tab, you can access help articles, video tutorials, and additional resources. Now let's go ahead and add a class space for English. To do that, we'll first select New Class Space, type English for the class space name, and select the high school for the parent site. If you're managing only one site, the parent site drop-down list will not display. Your single site is the parent site. Next, we'll add our class code. When you add the class space name, a friendly web address is automatically generated. You can easily change this friendly web address and then check the availability of your new address. Next, we'll select Save and Continue. In the Edit Space window, you can change the name of your class. The red triangle indicates that this is a mandatory field. As a subsite director, I'm responsible for managing spaces in the middle school and high school. As I mentioned earlier, you only see the parent site drop-down list if you manage spaces or activities in 2 or more schools. The space avatar is an image that's automatically generated based on the name entered in the space name field. Next, you can edit the class code, add a period, on the Editors and Members tab, you can select the teacher or activity leader for your space. This user is considered the group owner. However, before you can select a teacher or activity leader, you first have to add an editor or editors to your space. To add an editor, we'll first select Add Space Editors, select Assign User, start typing the user's name in the search field, and then select Search. We'll select 2 users, select Add, and then select I'm done. Once you add an editor, they'll receive an email informing them that they've been added as a space editor. Next, you can choose to allow the teacher or activity leader to add and remove other editors for this space. Under Access Permissions, you can choose to make your space public or private. By default, new spaces are set to private. If you choose to have a private space, you can decide who can view your web pages. To add members, who will most likely be students, select Manage Space Members. You can add individual or groups of users. Selecting the checkbox below Manage Space Members will allow parents of members to also access this space on your website. You can also choose to allow class and activity editors to manage these access permissions. Next, we'll select Save, which will take us back to the Class Spaces window. To access our English class workspace, we'll select Access Workspace. We cover the Classes and Activities Workspace functionality in the Classes and Activities Workspace Overview tutorial. Congratulations, you have completed the tutorial on managing spaces. Be sure to check the How Do I tab regularly for new and updated materials. Thanks for watching.